The EU Parliament said it would have been unacceptable to give UK's seafood producers access to the bloc's markets if EU trawlers were not allowed to enter British fishing grounds after Brexit. This week, the EU and the UK will push harder to strike an agreement on their future trade relationship after both sides agreed to go the extra mile. A deadline to finish the talks had been set for Sunday, but Prime Minister Boris Johnson and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen have agreed to an extension after discussing the major sticking points in a phone call. According to a joint statement, the call had been constructive and useful. The critical issues in the talks remain in the areas of level playing field, conditions for business and how any trade deal might be implemented. Fishing, championed by French President Emmanuel Macron, is also one of the major bones of contention. The UK insists any fishing agreement must be separate from the trade deal with access negotiated annually in a similar fashion to Norway's agreement with the bloc. Norway is an independent coastal state, with the rights and responsibilities under international law associated with that status. Stocks shared with the EU are managed through annual bilateral negotiations. Each autumn these talks set total allowable catches on the basis of scientific advice. This contrasts starkly with the current position of the UK fishing industry within the EU's common fisheries policy, something Brussels wants to maintain at all costs. Even when the two sides were negotiating the withdrawal agreement, the bloc showed no willingness to compromise on the issue. In 2017, the European Parliament's Fisheries Committee said it would have been unacceptable to give the UK's seafood producers free access to EU markets if trawlers from the continent no longer had access to British fishing grounds after Brexit. The committee wanted the two issues to be treated as a single block during the talks, stating that one was inseparable from the other. However, Ian Duncan, a former Scottish Conservative MEP, said this was peculiar, unprecedented and counter-productive, as no other deal brokered by the EU included access to fishing grounds as a requirement. He wrote to Alain Cadec, the French MEP who chaired the committee, warning that the recommendation endangered the chances of the two sides striking a deal and pointed out this was not the basis of deals reached with Norway and Iceland. Mr. Duncan said, the committee's demand that single market access for UK fish products should be dependent on free access to UK territorial waters for EU boats is nonsense. It is important to remember that the European Parliament will not negotiate Brexit and this kind of intervention is unhelpful.